The Budweiser Shootout on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. It'll change your life. By FedEx, we understand you need reliable shipping options. FedEx. By Lowe's, for all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, let's build something together. And by Chevy and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
39 laps to go in Daytona. Krista, what did Mark Martin say about the contact that sent Kurt Busch spinning and into the wall?
Mike, he said, and I quote, "I got into him." And then he asked his team, is he okay? Did he hit hard? The last thing he said, it was my fault.
That's one thing about Mark Martin. He will man up. If he makes a mistake, he doesn't mind admitting it.
Pace car pulls in. It's Carl Edwards side by side with Tony Stewart once again. Now, Michael Waltrip did pit before the green flag. So did Ryan Newman and John Andretti.
You know, a good gauge of horsepower and who's got good power is a restart. And right now, that 99 car of Carl Edwards seems to have just a teeny bit better restart and a little bit more power on the restart. That's usually a good gauge of who's got good power.
As mentioned also, Jamie McMurray had trouble getting up to speed coming out of the pit, so he had to restart at the tail end as well.
And I think Chris Devoto was telling us that he was having maybe some trouble with some ignition boxes. He was having to swap over to maybe the backup system.
It's 2010. It's time to do it again. What do you say? You crank those volume knobs and we crank it up for you. Boy, Kyle Busch looked like he got into the back of Jeff Burton, and Burton now slides to the tail end of the line to gather it back up.
I think he's trying to catch his breath, although it looks like he may have a little damage on the car now.
Watch the 31. That's Jeff Burton, and the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Kind of caught in the middle here. The 31 is. I'm not so sure. He might probably. Yeah. He got hit from all angles.
That's Kenny Schrader in that 82 car right behind him, and I think you're right. I think he's got a left rear tire rub, and the caution is out.
That's because Jeff Burton spun it off into the infield grass.
I think you'll see that the left rear tire might be down. That contact, I believe, cut the.
But you know, honestly, that caution could be a blessing for him if he had a tire going down, because he was going to come to pit road under green.
When he made that contact, that splitter cut that tire down.
As the caution flies for the third time tonight, Dick Berggren has caught up with Kurt Busch.
He has just exited the care center. Mark Martin has expressed his apology, has taken responsibility for the incident. What was it like inside the car as you were sliding through the infield?
Oh, the hood just popped up and I couldn't see much. Just trying to stay out of the wall, but we slid up into it. The momentum took us up there, but I don't know. I thought I was in the high lane, and I got on the high side of Mark going through turn 4, and I don't know if I pinched him. He wanted to come up, but it's not fun. I'm making more laps in the ambulance than I am out on the track. Sorry, Roger. I got 2 burned up cars, and we still do have our primary and our primary backup, but man, not a good average right now. So just looking for this week to be over, and we'll start up next Wednesday.
Good attitude. Thank you.
Kurt Busch knocked out of the Budweiser Shootout early. Here's why we're under caution this time around. It's for Jeff Burton. After contact, you saw the puff of smoke at the right rear, and around he goes.
The Budweiser Shootout on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser, the beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do. Well, it's the wildest collection of talent ever assembled at trackside. Singers, dancers, comedians, and a whole lot more. In the show, it's about to grab America by the muffler. It's Fast Track to Fame, coming soon to Speed. With Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, Carl Edwards has led all but 1 lap so far. Here's a guy who couldn't win a race last year. He was your pick in the pre-race show to win, but is he a sitting duck right now?
I think he could be right now. He lost his dancing partner. I think that he didn't have the 16 of Greg Biffle up there. Casey Kane's kind of slipped back through there. Those three Chevrolets lined up right behind him. I think they're trying to figure out how they're going to take this lead away from him. He's going to have his hands full.
Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike. Guys?
Thanks, Chris. Making pit stops under this caution, Matt Kenseth, Jamie McMurray, Ryan Newman, Kyle Busch, and Jeff Burton. Carl Edwards is trying to become the third driver to win the Budweiser Shootout from the pole. Darrell Waltrip, 1981. Bill Elliott, 1987. Ken Schrader, 1989. Carl trying to become the fourth driver to pull the pole and win the $200,000 first prize.
What was interesting about those pit stops is you talked about Ryan Newman. All they did, Tony Gibson and that group, is put a little more tape on that nose because the air temperature keeps coming down, so you can keep adding tape to help the aerodynamics of the car.
I think I remember right in 1981 this race paid $75,000. It might have paid $100. It went up a little bit there early on.
Edwards has led all but one lap. Jamie McMurray led a lap early on. 33 to go. Pace car pulls in. Darrell, you won $71,000.
71.
Tonight will take home $200 grand. We're back under green.
Keep seeing that 48 car just lurking back there. Jimmy Johnson.
Tell you what I see also. I see the 24 car easing his way, just kind of slowly, methodically. He's looking for old Jimmy Johnson. There he is on the outside there behind Greg Biffle in the 16 car. Don't count those two boys out just yet.
Yeah, because Jeff Gordon in that 24 car started on the very last row of this race, with the exception of the backup cars that was moved behind him.
Second car on the outside line behind Kevin Harvick. That's Greg Biffle. Steve?
Mike, on the previous caution, Greg Biffle told his team, you have got to free me up. I'm too tight. So they made an air pressure adjustment and a chassis adjustment. And now where you see, he said to spotter Joel Edmonds, I have got to get to the top of the racetrack. I'm too tight on the bottom.
Boy, these two guys at the front, Steve, Tony Stewart in that 14, Carl Edwards in the 99. Tony's making that car about twice the width that it is.
I don't know of anybody out there that I would think I would want to try to wrestle the lead away from. Tony Stewart's the best at once he gets out front. He is hard to get by.
Well, if he's the rock, then Kevin Harvick is the hard place. Because Harvick is a take no prisoners kind of driver when he can sniff the lead.
And he's been right there the whole race. He started up on the front row. He and Carl did, and they haven't drifted far back in the field.
Darrell, you're right, though. That 24 car, Jeff Gordon, he's just methodically been working his way up through there.
Yep, he's just looking for an opening. I think he's got a fast enough car. I think he'd like to really get down there and help Jimmy is what he's hoping to be able to do, or vice versa, but they'd like to be able to work together, I'm pretty sure.
He's got his teammate, Mark Martin, pushing him now.
Gordon and the 24 have been in every shootout since 1994, Matt. 17 of them in a row.
Mike, his biggest complaint, just losing the nose. He says when he tucks up underneath someone, he absolutely loses the nose, has to touch the brake to try to get that nose down. That's his biggest complaint at this juncture.
And probably the deeper they go into this run and burn that fuel load off, that could get worse.
Watch your middle there, watch the middle.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. was looking for major changes to his car to get it toward the front. So far, not so good, Steve. He is in 18th position.
Mike, he doesn't like his race car right now. He says it feels like the right front spring is trying to do what the shock needs to do. I don't feel pinned down to the racetrack.
Now, Carl Edwards was behind Tony Stewart in that 14 car. He shot to the outside, and now he gets kicked all the way to the high side by the 24 car of Gordon.
Gordon just, I mean, that was a power move right there, baby.
And he didn't leave an inch between his rear bumper and Edwards' front as he moved up to the high side.
That was a whole lot of taking and a little bit of giving.